really want to dive into today, and this is something that I was having some conversations with some of my coaching students with recently, and it's the topic of busting past fat loss plateaus. And this is something that it's inevitable. People are going to deal with fat loss plateaus from time to time. And I know that it's very frustrating when you have those times when it seems like you're doing everything right, but the progress isn't happening as fast as you want it to. And I kind of want to just like zoom out and kind of share the bigger picture perspective with you, because this is something that I've had to deal with myself. I know a lot of people are going through it. And I kind of want to like bust through some of the myths and the misconceptions when it comes to fat loss, especially when you're looking at achieving a long-term, lasting fitness and fat loss transformation. Not just some, short-term quick fix. Hey, I'm going on a 30-day shred, blah blah blah. I'm talking about actually losing weight and keeping it off as a lifestyle. And this is something that a lot of people struggle with. And I'm no different, right? I've been through it myself. And if you know my story, the way it was is I was a competitive bodybuilder for years. I started competing in bodybuilding back in 1995 at 17 years old. I did my first competition. And then the way it was every year I was caught up into the whole bodybuilding scene. So I was doing competition year after year after year, just trying to work my way up the local ranks of bodybuilding. And back then I was so naive. I had a goal that, hey, I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder. That was my goal back in the day. And I didn't realize how big of a goal that was. And I didn't realize everything that was involved with it. Like, keep in mind, this is before the internet, before we have information available like we do today. Things were a lot different, a lot different back in the day. But I was so naive that, hey, I thought, hey, I'm going to be a pro bodybuilder, and that was going to be my career for life. So I was working my way up the ranks in bodybuilding, in my teenage years and into my early 20s. And even, throughout my early 30s, I was competing in bodybuilding. And I did the typical bodybuilding diets. And how that went was I would go on these extreme low carb cutting diets for months on end. Like, it's usually anywhere from 3 to 6 months. I would go into hardcore cutting mode, if you will, where I'd drastically cut the calories, drastically bump up the cardio, and just start going crazy with my with trying to lose fat as fast as possible to get ripped for the competition. And that approach does work. Don't get me wrong, that approach works, but it's not sustainable and it's not enjoyable. When you have to go to the extremes to lose fat, you're constantly in a state of deprivation. And I find that when that happens, you don't enjoy the process. And this is something that I've learned over the years, is you have to enjoy the process if you are going to sustain the results long term. Like, willpower alone will not get you the results you want and allow you to maintain it. If you can't enjoy it and you can't sustain it and have this as a lifestyle, then it's only a temporary quick fix. Like, another way to look at it too is, if your fat loss program has a start date and an end date, the results are only temporary. Because if you go back to your old habits, once you stop the program, once it's over, finished, whatever, then whatever results you got, you're just going to undo and gain back again. And we see this over and over and over again. People going on these crazy cuts, or going on a detox, or going on whatever, they'll follow a plan, and they even, know in advance that it's only a short-term thing. Like, I see guys saying, hey, I'm going to go on a 6-week cut, or I'm going to go on a detox, or I'm going to go on some sort of fasting protocol, or whatever. And they think that this short-term quick fix thing is going to undo, a lifetime of bad habits. And no, it's not. You can't undo bad habits from some quick fix solution. If you want to undo the bad habits, you have to change those habits. And this is something that a lot of people have trouble wrapping their head around, because it's one thing to lose weight, it's something else to keep it off. And I think the biggest struggle that a lot of people have, it's not in they don't know how to lose weight. Like, most people who go on any type of diet, if they stick to it, even half-ass consistent for any length of time, they will lose some weight most of the time. I mean, the whole process of losing weight is usually not the problem. It's how do you keep it off? How do you stay lean after you lose it? And I've seen this over and over again where people will drop a bunch of weight and then they yo-yo and balloon up and gain it back, all over again. And the reason is because they don't know how to stay lean. And you stay lean by learning how to change the habits. And this is something that a lot of people struggle with. And it's something that I've really focused on helping, my personal coaching students, and I've even focused on it for myself to nail down a system where you can have a healthy, enjoyable lifestyle approach that allows you to make progress without feeling like you're depriving yourself, without feeling like you're killing yourself in the gym. And that is so critical because if you don't enjoy it, if you can't stick to it, if it can't be a normal routine thing, something as routine as, hey, brushing your teeth, like just doing your regular day-to-day thing. If it can't be a sustainable and enjoyable part of the day, you're not going to stick with it long term. And that's one of the things that a lot of people struggle with. And I'll just share some strategies that I've used myself to kind of make this more of a lifestyle approach. And one of the biggest things, and this is more of a mental shift than anything, is to let go of perfection. A lot of people are perfectionists, or they strive for perfection, and their standard of perfection is actually preventing them from making progress. I know it sounds silly when you talk about it, but this is the way it is for a lot of people. Like I've seen it over and over again where someone might be overweight, out of shape, like not even going to the gym, not even following any type of nutrition protocol whatsoever. They're just, eating whatever they want and zero exercise. And they say, well, I don't want to join the gym. I don't want to start a diet plan. I don't want to do anything until it's perfect, until I have the perfect schedule. Oh, I'm too busy at work right now, or coronavirus is on the go right now. So once that's over, then I'll look into it. Or once everything is done, once I have everything on my to-do list crossed off, and all the stars in the heavens above align, and everything is perfect, then I will start a program. And then once they start the program, they're like, well, I want to have the perfect routine. I want to have the perfect order of exercises, the perfect training split, and I want it all backed up, scientifically sound protocols to follow. I want to have all my macros and calories mapped out in advance. I want to have all my meals planned out and prepared and everything laid out so that when I'm ready to go, everything is perfect. And that whole idea of perfection is what's preventing you from making progress. Because I got news for you, it's never perfect. It's never perfect. I mean, you could hire the best trainers, the best coaches, the best nutritionists. You could hire the world's best, the greatest minds. And all they're going to do is give you an educated guess on what they think is going to work based on their experience. But until you actually start following it, we don't know if it's going to work or not. Like really, it's just an educated guess. So all this obsession over perfection, it's not even... we're not even basing it on anything. It's just a guess. So forget perfection and focus on progress. And once you adopt this, it's like a game changer. I mean, it sounds so simple when I'm talking about it, but once you fully adopt this into your own lifestyle, I'm telling you right now, this is a game changer. This will turn things around. And I'll give you some practical examples of how you can get rid of this perfection mentality and actually start making progress. One that I had a big issue with in my own case is I used to think that I had to work out for at least an hour at a time. If I didn't have at least an hour to work out, then I didn't have time to work out. So just think about that. I mean, obviously there's nothing wrong with working out for an hour. And if your schedule permits you to work out for an hour or more, and that's great, you can do that. But once I became a father, once I had more responsibilities on my plate, and once there's more things pulling at me for time, right? I've got business responsibilities, I've got family responsibilities. There's just more things pulling at my calendar. It's not like when I was young and single and had nothing to do. I mean, I go to the gym for a couple hours was nothing. I mean, it was easy to do that when I was single and before I was a parent, but now it's not. So I had to be very meticulous with time management. And I had that mentality that if I couldn't work out for an hour, I didn't have time to work out. And just think of how stupid that is. Because even though I wouldn't let myself go and exercise for less than an hour, I'd let myself sit down on the sofa and watch TV for less than an hour. I'd scroll through YouTube and watch videos for less than an hour, or I'd scroll through social media on my phone and for less than an hour. Like, it's crazy. Like if I had a half hour to spare, instead of doing a half hour of exercise, I'd say, hey, I'm just going to kick back on the couch, watch half hour TV. Like it's the same time. Like I could be wasting that time watching television or scrolling through the internet or just twiddling my thumbs doing dick all, or I could actually get off my ass and go do something. I could go for a walk. I could go do a workout. I mean, even if it wasn't a workout at the gym, I mean, I could just do a workout at home. I could, I got dumbbells and resistance bands and body weight exercises. I mean, heck, I could even do a circuit of like push-ups and body weight squats and some ab work and some jumping jacks. I mean, do that in a circuit fashion. You can get an amazing workout in just a few minutes. Like literally, if you got 15, 20 minutes to spare and you just did a little body weight circuit like that, it would be amazing in terms of the results that you would get. And it doesn't take much time. And the thing is, most of us, we have these little blocks of time throughout the day that we're just pissing away, right? We're scrolling through our phones, we're watching TV, or we're just dilly-dallying or just chatting with people, about mindless nothing. When that's opportunities you could use to squeeze in little bits of exercise in your busy schedule if you don't have time to work out. And this is what I did when I got back in shape after 40. This was the strategy I used because I didn't have time to go and do more workouts at the gym, but I could optimize those little blocks of time that I had throughout the day. So if I had some time to spare, I'd go for a little walk. Even if it was just a 10, 15-minute walk around the block, I'd do that. So like on my lunch break, I'd go for a little walk. If I was doing coaching calls or I had business meetings or something like that, and I say, you know what, hey, I got 20 minutes before my next meeting. Hey, I can go for a 15-minute walk and still be back in time and make my meeting, right? I would take advantage of those little blocks of time and squeeze in bits of exercise, even if it was just, like I say, haul on the sneakers, go outside and walk. I mean, it's simple. You can do it anywhere. You don't need to change into your gym clothes or none of that stuff. Anybody can walk. And walking is like one of the most underrated forms of exercise, especially when it comes to fat loss. Because the more active you are, the more calories you burn, and the leaner you're going to get. And the cool thing about walking is it doesn't stress out your central nervous system. It's not going to cause you to overtrain and burn out. It's just going to help to bump up calorie burning. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to help to enhance mental clarity and focus. And, there's no negatives to getting outside for a walk. Really, there's not. I mean, okay, I know you could possibly get hit by a car, but other than that, there's really no negatives to getting outside for a walk. I mean, health, fitness, mental, it's just a stress relief, like all around the boards. Like if the doctor could like bundle up and package the power of walking into a pill, it would be like the most prescribed pill in the world, right? Walking is such an underrated exercise. It's something that pretty much anybody can do. And most people are not doing it enough. So get outside and walk. That's one of the things that I did, and it really helped to bump up my overall activity level, bump up my calorie expenditure, and it helped me to get in shape without spending more time working out, if you will, without spending more time at the gym. And another one, like I said, the body weight exercises. This is so underrated. I mean, push-ups, squats, those two exercises there, push-ups and body weight squats. Like you would be amazed at how much progress you can make with that alone. You want to get extra creative? Get yourself some rubber resistance bands or dumbbells, and then now you can throw in all kinds of different exercises for your back, for your arms, and all the rest of the body. But even if you just did that for now, like you have zero equipment available, push-ups and squats are a great place to start. And I mean, like it doesn't take much. Like in the morning, hit the floor, bang out a set of push-ups, bang out a set of squats. On your lunch break, bang out a set of push-ups, bang out a set of squats. In the evening before you go to bed, bang out a set of push-ups, bang out a set of squats. I mean, if you did that day in, day out for the next, 3 months, and that was the only exercise you did, you would see a massive change. It all adds up. In fact, even like one of my coaching students who I'm working with right now, he just started a new job and he's very busy with, all the responsibilities he has. So what he has done is he actually brought in a set of dumbbells into his office. So in between meetings and stuff like that, and when he's got little mini breaks throughout the day, like he'll throw in some dumbbell curls and shoulder presses and rows and a few little exercises like that throughout the day. So he's not going to the gym, but he's taking advantage of these little blocks of time throughout the day to get in some exercise. And it all adds up. Like you don't have to be at the gym working out under a structured, this is my workout time. It all adds up. Even if you spaced out a few exercises over the course of the day, it's still stimulating the muscles. It doesn't have to be this formal, structured, go to the gym workout routine. So once you open your mind and get this, oh, I don't have time to work out of the equation, and you focus on optimizing all these little bits of time that you do have, you'll be amazed at the progress you can make. When it comes to your nutrition, this is another big one. A lot of people think they have to have the perfect ratio of, got to have my macros, and I got to have this in place and that in place. I got to know my perfect calorie count, and I got to be weighing and measuring and monitoring my food, and I got to be meal prepping. And no, you don't need to do that. You just need to make better food choices. Literally, better food choices, and just purposely eat smaller portions, especially if your goal is fat loss. And I'll just throw out some very simple strategies that I've used myself. One, like a lot of people think that, oh, if I'm going to go on a fat loss program, I got to cut out all cheat meals and everything else. And they make it overwhelming, and I guess they're making it more difficult than it needs to be in their mind before they even start. But little bits of progress adds up. And I'll give you an example. Like a couple weeks ago, we were out for a Sunday drive, my family and I, and my wife and son, they wanted to have ice cream. Like, we drove by an ice cream shop, and they said, hey, it's a nice sunny day. Let's go in for an ice cream. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. I'm craving an ice cream too. Why not? So we went into the ice cream shop. And guess what? We all ordered kitty size ice creams, like the little tiny small soft serve ice creams. Now, normally in the past, when I was, fat and bulked up heavily, I would order the ginormous big ice cream, right? I'd never be caught with the little tiny kitty size ice cream. I'd always had to have the biggest one. But this time around, I said, you know what? Hey, I'm just going to order the kitty size. So my 3-year-old son got a kitty ice cream, my wife got a kitty one, and I got a kitty one. And that was enough. I mean, I got the craving of ice cream out of my system. I mean, I had, the little ice cream cone, and I was like, okay, that's enough. Like, there's really no more pleasure in having the jumbo size ice cream versus the kitty size ice cream, because once you get the taste of ice cream and you kind of get that satisfaction, then from then on, it's just more of the same. Like, there's no more pleasure in eating more. It's just more of the same. Right? Another strategy that I use, like if we're going to go out for pizza, or if we're going to order a pizza. I mean, in the past, whenever I'd order a pizza, I'd always order the biggest, ginormous jumbo pizza, whatever that the pizza place offered, right? They're extra large jumbo. And I mean, then I would stuff myself with pizza, and then I'd have leftover pizza for the next day. And I'd be, just pizza, all kinds of pizza. Now, if we order a pizza, I order a medium. And a medium pizza probably has like 4 to 6 slices. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's a small pizza. But bottom line, I don't get a big one anymore. I think it's the small one. It has 4 slices, right? It's just a pie cut into quarters. And that's what my wife and I'll share. So we'll have a couple slices of pizza each. And that's enough for me to get the pizza craving out of my system and enjoy the taste of pizza without going overboard. Because, like, once I've eaten 2 slices of pizza, like, is there any more pleasure in really eating 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 slices? Not really. I mean, it's just more of the same after that. So allow yourself the pleasure to indulge a little bit, to get those cravings out of your system so that you can forget about them and then move on. Whereas if you take the approach of, I'm not going to cheat. Oops, something there. If you take the approach of, I'm not going to cheat, I'm going to stick to my guns, I'm not going to give in, I'm not going to give into a temptation or whatever, then those cravings build. They build and they build and they build. And eventually you're going to get to your threshold where you just say, screw it, I can't take it anymore. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. I can't deal with this anymore. And that's the way I used to get when I was competing in bodybuilding. Because I would go for, like, say 3 months on end, no cheat meals, just, chicken, rice, and broccoli, 2 hours of cardio a day, in the gym 6 days a week. And I had my blinders on, and I was just following this crazy hardcore program. But I didn't enjoy it. And of course, I didn't enjoy the foods. And the cravings would just constantly build up and build up. And all I could think about, like in the last month, especially before competition, I would lie awake at night just dreaming and fantasizing about all the food that I was going to eat after the contest was over and what I was going to binge on. And I mean, that's exactly what would happen. So, I mean, I would stick to my guns right up until contest day. And then after the contest was over, then the binging would start, and it wouldn't stop. And I mean, it took me months to lose the weight, only weeks to gain it all back. And then here I am back to square one, just as fat as ever. And it's like, it was all for naught. Okay, I mean, yeah, I look good in the pictures and in the photographs, and I did place reasonably well in the competition, but I didn't maintain the lean, healthy physique for life. I mean, okay, it's okay to be lean in a picture, but I want to be lean every day. I don't want to be lean so in a picture to say, hey, back 6 months ago I used to be in shape, but I'm not in shape anymore. No, I want to be in shape day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, like all the time. I want to be lean for life, not lean for a competition. So it takes a different mindset. And instead of this all or nothing extreme approach, you just need to be good enough, but good enough consistently. Good enough, but good enough consistently. So it takes the stress out of having to be perfect, and it makes it so much easier. And this is what I focus on now when I'm helping people to optimize a diet and training program. It's no more of this extreme hardcore cutting, with unrealistic expectations and unrealistic programming that you can only stick to for a few weeks or a few months at a time before you end up quitting that and burned out and frustrated. It's none of that. It's all about making better lifestyle choices. And instead of even thinking that this is a diet or that there's a finish line, hey, I'm going to do this for a few weeks or a few months and then quit. No, it's just, we're going to make some changes, and these are changes for life. They're not changes for a few weeks or a few months. They're changes for the rest of your life. And once you make that mindset shift and start making those habit shifts, that's when you actually start to get results that last. So hopefully you found this helpful, right? I mean, I just wanted to kind of share this with you because I know it's a topic that I'm passionate about, and it's a topic that a lot of people struggle with. And if you want some help with this, I've actually put together a free PDF ebook, and it covers how I went about going from fat to ripped after 40. And it explains my journey. Like, I explain the struggles that I went through, and I explain some of the approaches, and I go into more detail about the strategies that I just talked about in this video. And I have it all outlined in a 69-page ebook. So if you want, go ahead and download that. And what I'll do is I'll post a link in the first comment below this video and down in the description where you can go check it out. Or if you can just head on over to my website at leehayward.com. And you'll see a link there in the side menu bar where you can actually download it. It's called How I Went From Fat to Ripped After 40. And I recommend you download it. Again, it's a free PDF, and it'll really help to shed some insight, not just into the tactics and the strategies. It's not just like, oh, what's the best exercise? What's the best macro split? Or what's the best, how much cardio should I do and all that? Like, no, it goes deeper and broader into the inner game and the mindset that you need to adopt in order to actually make all this stuff work, right? I mean, it's not lack of tactics is the reason why you're overweight and out of shape, right? You can go on YouTube and search workout program and you'll get thousands of results. You can search meal plan, you'll get thousands of results. Like, there's no shortage of workouts and meal plans out there. It's how do you actually take those workouts and meal plans and apply it as part of your lifestyle and do it so that you enjoy it and you can just stick with it and actually get the results you want, right? I mean, I can throw out some random numbers and say, hey, I want you to do 2 hours of exercise, and I want you to eat 2,000 calories and blah, blah, blah. And I can give you all these fancy numbers and calories and macro splits, but it's totally useless unless you actually apply it. And that's the problem. Most people have trouble applying it. So that's what I really focus on in that ebook, is how do you take all this stuff and make it fit with a busy lifestyle? Make it fit when how do you get yourself to exercise when your willpower is not there, right? How do you work out when you don't feel like working out? How do you eat clean when you don't feel like eating clean? Like, how do you make it work when you don't feel like making it work? That's what we need to focus on. That's where people struggle, right? Knowing what to do in a perfect situation is not the problem. Right? If we all had perfect situations, we'd all be ripped and shredded and strutting along the beach, with six-pack abs and looking like, Greek god Adonises or something. But it's not that way, right? How do you make this stuff fit into a real lifestyle when you have stress from work, stress from family, busy, lack of sleep, all this crap coming down on you? How do you make it work then? And that's what I really cover in this program. So it's not just more tactics. It's not just, hey, here's the macros, or, cut out your carbs or any of that crap. No, it's how do you make this fit with a real lifestyle? So again, if you want to check it out, head on over to my website, leehayward.com. Click on the link in the video description down in the comments below. I'll post a link to it down there as well, and that'll help get you moving in the right direction. All right, I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got some value out of it. Again, post your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I'll talk to you in another video coming soon. Take care. Over and out.